Okay, great. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Zoho Tables webinar. My name is Hema. I'm a product marketer for Tables. Zoho Tables is a very new product, and this is our first ever customer webinar, and I'm super excited to have you all today. So let's quickly get started. Great. So this is going to be our agenda for the day. To begin with, we are going to discuss the intent behind building a product like Zoho Tables and what is our vision in this space. And I'll quickly give you a product demo and discuss our feature roadmap ahead, followed by a Q&A session. Great. So why Zoho Tables? We all have asked this question, right? Why is it so difficult to get work done, especially in a collaborative workspace or when we work as a team or with cross function? We must work together in synergy, but most of the time it's the other way around. All of us tend to use multiple applications for the same use case, making updates in silos, which lead to unclear action items, fear of missing deadlines, and there are a lot of other reasons why it's so difficult to get work done as a team. And another major concern is that we all tend to turn to spreadsheets because of its familiar interface. Well, spreadsheets are amazing when it comes to performing advanced calculations and business analysis, but it may not be an ideal tool for work management. We use spreadsheet without realizing there are inherent problems because spreadsheet does not support bidirectional relationships, right? Of course we can link cells between sheets, but when we make any changes in the source file it will get reflected in the destination but not the other way. And spreadsheet does not support advanced automations like sending reminders or alerts or notifications. It does support user level automations with the help of macros. But if we don't have a deep level understanding of how macros work, it can get really chaotic. Another primary challenge that we all face while using spreadsheet is that it only offers a single shared view. In a collaborative workspace, when one of us wants to see the data in a way it matters to us, if we make any sort of changes, it's going to affect the view of all other users, right? So it's not so easy to work in spreadsheet when it comes to work management. So why not database? In the quest of finding solution to all these problems, if we switch to a database application, it comes with its own set of challenges because it demands certain amount of coding to be written and it is highly sensitive in structure. And if we want to make any sort of editings the way we want, we either have to write code or hire a dedicated database administrator. So it's a lot of effort to get even the most basic task at work, right? So well, that's when we realize that we are all in need of a tool that adapts to our needs rather than we adapting to the tool's requirement. Well, that very thought led to the birth of Zoho Tables. So Zoho Tables, it's a work management tool that seamlessly connects people, processes, and information. The best part is that it offers you the best of both worlds. It's a perfect combination of spreadsheet and database that fits into any work environment. With this, our vision is to empower teams with a solution to organize their work and manage tasks in a simple yet powerful way. But why did we choose database as a backend functionality? Well, the answer is very simple. No matter which function or the industry that we belong to, the amount of data that we handle is massive, right? Irrespective of sales or marketing or HR, the kind of data that we handle is massive. But if you pay attention to the kind of data that we handle, there is a pattern of information that are always correlated to one another. Let's understand this better. In a traditional way of data handling, let's take an example of a professor handling his student database with the help of a spreadsheet application. Like he has a spreadsheet for saving all his student data and a separate spreadsheet for all the departments and the list of students and another spreadsheet for the list of students and the courses that they are enrolled into, again semester results and the list of students, students and faculties and students and clubs. Like if you see, there are so much of copying and pasting of the student information across spreadsheets. Well, when it comes to Zoho table style of handling data, all you have to do is save the student database only once. Have all other elements as separate table, yet they are connected to one another. Well, that's what Zoho Tables does. Connect all the important pieces of information together. So rather than seeing your student database in a more text-based spreadsheet format, you can organize your data in a more visually appealing, colorful drag and drop interface. If you pay attention to your student database in Zoho Tables, you can have your student database in one of the tables, and you have all other elements saved as a separate table like club, faculties, courses, and semester results, yet they are connected to each other. So with this, you don't really have to duplicate the same information over and over. So there's no way that your data is cluttered or duplicated. So our value proposition here is that we are offering an elevation from spreadsheet to experience the no-code world of work management with advanced functionalities in a single unified tool. The best part is that it does not require any amount of technical expertise to get started with the product. Let's understand how data can be managed in Zoho Tables. So you can add almost any kind of data with the help of 25 plus field types that we have, including the AI field types. As you feed in your data, you can organize your data with the help of many to many bidirectional relationship that we offer. And you can visualize your data in different formats using grid, gallery, Kanban, and calendar view. And you can all of us can have a personalized view of the same data. The say, how we can view the student data differently. The student data can be viewed differently by a student, by another student, by a teacher, and by the database administrator. So all of us can see the same data from different perspective. In a way, it matters to us without disrupting the configuration made by others. And you can even collaborate in real time, and you can comment on every single record, pay attention to detail, and see changes unfold in real time. And you can keep a track of all the activities and to see who made what change and when. And you can even automate many behaviors to get things done faster. And there are multiple use cases. Either you can create one from the scratch, or you can spin off from what we have created. And you have all the powerful features of Zoho Tables available in a compact mobile application for you as well. Now let's quickly jump into a demo to understand how Zoho Tables works. So as you log in to your Zoho Tables account, you will have to create your portal. So once you create your portal, as I said, you will become the super admin of your account. I have logged in as Olivia Stevens, and I am the super admin of this account. So once you log in, when you click on the left top corner, this is your workspace. So these are all the workspaces that I have in my demo account. You can add workspace. So as I said, you can think of it as a folder to categorize all your related bases in one place. So what you see here is the base. So bases are nothing but collection of tables logically organized with all the information required for a specific project or a workflow. There are three ways to get started with a base. Either you can make use of the predefined templates that we already have, or you can import from a cloud application or a online or offline spreadsheet application, or you can create one from the scratch. So for this demo, I am going to make use of the base that I have created. So in here, what you see is the base. So when you open up the base, this is how your base would look like. It consists of records and fields that will help you to organize information within a base. So since we are using database functionality, like I said, it's not rows and columns, it's records and fields. So what you see here is a row. This complete row is what we call it as record. So records hold information about a particular item on a list. And what you see here is the field type. So when I click on the plus icon in here, I can see the list of 25 plus field types that I can make use of to organize my data. So in this demo, let's take an example of a consulting firm working with multiple organizations to deliver various projects. So this consulting firm, you see this table number one have the list of client details. So I made use of this attachment field type to upload the brand guidelines and logo. And here I have the contact information, email address, and phone number of all my clients here. And here I'm going to have a separate table which will only talk about the list of projects that I'm going to deliver for all my clients. So if you see here, I have the project ID, the technology requirement, client, status. Here I've made use of the single select field, and the project head here. I made use of the collaborator field in here and the due date. Now, I want to give a unique ID for this project. How do I do that? So I can make use of the formula field. So I'm just going to click on this drop down menu, click on edit, and this will open up the screen. And when I click on change, I can see the list of field types. So I can click on formula, and this will open up the formula panel. I'm going to click on concatenate. Now I can see the concatenate option. So I want to give a unique ID for my project. It's going to be a combination of my client name, and my tech and the client's technology requirement with a hyphen in between. So client's technology requirement. That's it. And so I've made use of the concatenate formula to create a unique ID for my project. So it's basically my client name and the technology requirement with a hyphen in between. So I'm going to click on convert, save. Pretty simple. Now I don't have any technology requirement or client name filled in, so I can only see the hyphen in here. So we have 35 different formulas, just like we made use of the concatenate formula here. So we have logical functions, array functions, numeric functions, a lot of formulas that you can make use of. So technology requirement, I'll just mention PLM solution, maybe project lifecycle management solution. So now you see it is also reflecting in here. And I have to type in my client name, but I don't have to manually do it because my client name already resides in my client table. I don't want to duplicate this information. So I would just have to pull in this information from the other table. So how do I do that? I'm going to create a link relationship in here. So like I said, I'm going to click on this down arrow, and I'm going to click on edit, change, click on link. So I'm creating a link relationship. So when I click on link, and here comes and asking me, choose a table to link to. So there are two tables in this basis. It is asking me whether I want to create a link in the same table or any other table. So my client information resides in my client table. So I'm going to click on client. And when I click on advanced, it will list down the list of fields that are already there in my client table. So from the client table, I am going to retrieve my client name. So I'm clicking on client in here and click on convert and click on save. And here comes the plus icon. When I click on the plus icon, it's going to list down the list of records from the previous table, that is from the other table. So I'm going to select the CS Tech and come out. So here there is a relationship created between this table and the other table. How do I know the relationship is created? Let me go to the previous table. And if you see, it says link to projects. Link to projects. So this is where we can see there is a relationship created between this table and the other table. And you can also see my project ID has a proper name now, CS Tech-PLM solution. I have a unique project ID, and I have a relationship created between this table and the client table, so I don't have to repeat my client information over and over. So here I can choose any of my status in here. I can click on planning project head. So here I have the list of collaborators who already have access to the space. In case if I want to add anybody else who are not a part of the space, I can just quickly type in a name, and it's going to ask me add collaborators. So if I enter any of the name and click on add, automatically this person will be added as a collaborator, and he will get a notification, or she will get a notification saying that they have been added as a collaborator and responsible for this work item. And you can also select a due date. So this is how you can create relationship, and you can organize your project related information. Let's quickly go to another table where you can see the list of information already filled in. So here I have all my client details saved in this exclusive client table. And here I have all the list of projects that I am delivering for each client. But if you see, each project will have multiple work items, right? So for which we have a separate table. This table only consists of the list of work items. So these are all the work items. So set up a introduction call, and it falls under what category? Customer engagement. Infrastructure analysis falls under pre-project. Likewise, you have different work items and different categories. And if you see, I have again created a relationship between this work item table and project table so that I would know this work item belongs to which project. So as I have created a relationship, if I go to the project table, I see this. I see this field type where I can see the list of work item belong to this particular project. If you see this CS Tech-PLM project lifecycle management project has one, two, three, four, five, six different work items. So which is basically this. These are the six different work items belong to this particular project. So I have all the categories and the project related documents here, and the list of status, the due date, and the respective task owner. Great. So likewise, I have segregated it for different projects. So what if I want to see the same data from a different perspective? That is why we have the different types of views here. So you can click on any one of the views. When I click on Kanban view, I can see all my work item based on the stages of the work item. So generally Kanban view works with the help of the single select field. So when you click on the configure option, right now these cards are displayed based on the status field. And if you want to change it to category, I can change it to category. So if I want to change it to status, I can see the status. So what do I mean by status? This is what I mean, the status field. So that is exactly what we are seeing here. Status field. And here we have the Kanban builder. This builder will help us to customize our cards based on our preference. If you just have to drag and drop here. If you don't want, you can click on the delete icon and you can close the panel. And you have a filter sorting option, and you can even apply colors. There are two ways to apply colors. Either you can select the single select field, or you can even apply conditional color formatting. So likewise, you can select any one of the condition and you can apply colors. So this is how the Kanban view works. What if you want to see the data on a monthly calendar? You can just click on the calendar view. So this calendar view will help you to see all your work items on a monthly calendar. Great. So this is how Kanban view and calendar view would look like. And like I mentioned, that all of us can have a personalized view of the same data without disrupting the configuration made by others, right? How do I do that? Like I'm logged in as Olivia. All these records does not really matter to me. I want to look into only my record for which I am responsible for. How do I do that? All I have to do is I would just have to click on this particular three dot icon right next to this view's name. This is the main summary, right? This is the main view, the grid view. When I click on duplicate, the same information will get duplicated. And now I can filter this record by adding a condition. So I can say task owner, my records. So automatically all my records will be listed down. I can rename this record as Olivia's view. Okay, so this is my record. Now I can configure this record the way I want. Now I can even apply color. Clicking on condition, I want to color my records red. Based on status is any of waiting. So, so as I've applied my color, I can see this particular record is now colored red because the status says waiting here. I can even increase the record height and I can make all the personal configuration. But if I go back to my main view, it's not going to affect the view of all other users. It's still the same. But when I go to my personal view, I have my personalized configuration set here. Now, but when I make any changes in terms of the value of the data, it will get reflected in all the associated views. So, for example, this proof of concept is now under waiting. What if I change it to completed and I go to my main view? Proof of concept is now completed. So, this is what I meant. This product is personalized yet cohesive. Whenever we make any changes in terms of the configuration, it's not going to affect other viewers. But only when we make any changes in terms of the value of the data, it will get reflected across all other views. Great. So now that we are done with the personalized configuration, let's see how to collaborate on every single work item. When you click on this, you see the expand icon right next to your record. Click on the expand icon and you want to know the status of this record, right? You want to collaborate with the respective task owner. Who is the task owner here? Justin Torres. And you want to know what is happening in this work item. Here you have comment section. You can click on add comment and you can add mention Torres. And you can even upload documents saying, yeah, you can even upload documents in here. Click on open, upload. And you can ask Taurus, is this the final diagram? And you can click on send. So by this way, Taurus will be intimated that there is a message from Olivia. Now, we are also working on something called record comment indication, wherein whenever there is a comment, there will be some sort of notification or alerts or some indication here right next to the record that there is a comment next to the record. But at the moment, you can see in here, but this will be available very soon. So this is how you can comment on individual records. So that's now that we have seen all the views, personalized configuration, let's quickly go to the invoices section. Okay, I've listed down all my clients and I've listed down all my projects and the respective work items belongs to each project. Now I'm done with my project and here comes my invoice repository. I can save all my invoices in here and you have invoice number, invoice date, and I've even uploaded my invoice copy here. I can just maximize it and I can just quickly take a preview of it. And you have the invoice value with the help of the currency field. Again, I have created a relationship between this invoice table and the projects table because I want to know this invoice belongs to which project. So again, I've created a relationship. Now, again, I have created a relationship between this invoice table and the client table because I want to know this invoice belongs to which client. So project is one thing, and I also want to know if this invoice belongs to which client. So I've created a relationship between this table and the client table. Now that we have the client name in here, I also want to know to whom I need to get in touch with. Who is going to be the contact person from this client organization? So how do I get that information? I don't have to really create a relationship over and over. Since the relationship is already created between this table and the client table, I would just have to quickly put a lookup to retrieve extra information. So how do I do that? I'm just going to click on the down arrow in here, click on edit, and change this to lookup field. And it's going to ask me choose a link field, because for the lookup field to work you need to have a link field, because link field is the pathway between tables. So once you have the link field in here, you would just have to click on the respective link field. My client information resides in the client table, so I'm clicking on client in here. So from the client table, which information are you trying to retrieve? So I want to retrieve my billing contact information. So I'm going to click on convert, click on save. So automatically from this client CS Tech, the contact person is Jack Dorsey. Let's quickly go and check. So CS Tech, who is the contact person? Jack Dorsey. So I can see here. So likewise, I also want to retrieve the email ID. So how do I do that? Again, you can create a lookup field, client table, here email contact, and convert. Click on save. So Jack Dorsey, sorry, I think I have to email ID. Sorry, email ID. Yeah, email ID is also retrieved in here. So you can create as many lookup field as you want. You would just have to create the relationship once, and you can retrieve as many information from the other table with the help of the lookup field type. And here you have the invoice state, invoice status, and the payment status. Okay. Now all that is done, and if you quickly want to see the total of all the invoices here, you have the summary bar. When you click on the summary bar, you can just quickly put a check mark on, like, select sum. You can see the sum of all this value. But what if I want to see the sum of all the invoices generated for this particular client alone? How do I do that? So since we already have created the relationship between this table and invoice table, I can see the list of invoices here. I go to the invoice. If you see, CS Tech has three invoices. So that is what getting displayed in here, 1, 2, 3. So if I want to know the sum of all the invoice values, how can I do that? It's just that we have the roll up field. I have already applied this formula, but I can quickly show you how it works. So select roll up from the list of field types and choose a link field. Again, for roll up to look up to work, you need to have a link field because you are creating a pathway. So here the link field is already there. So link field is basically the invoice field because we are trying to retrieve the invoice value. So click on the invoice field. So this is the field I'm talking about, this invoice field. And from the invoice field, you have the list of fields available from the invoice table. So invoice number, project ID. So these are all the fields that we have created in the invoice table. This table has all these information. So from this table, what information are you trying to retrieve in here? Of course, the invoice value. So here is the invoice value. So once I've chosen the invoice value, so based on the field type that we have selected, I can see the related formula. So since this is a numeric field, I can see all the numeric formulas like and average, maximum, sum. So here we want to quickly calculate the total, right? So I'm going to click on sum. In case if I click on count, it's just going to say 3 because there are 3 invoices. But I'm going to click on sum here and click on create, and it's going to give me the total of all these invoices put together, which is basically $10,000. So this is how you can create link relationship, roll up, lookup. Great. So now that we have covered most of the features, let's quickly get into the automation functionality as well, which is one of the most important feature. So if you see at the right top corner, you can quickly access automation, and you can click on the plus icon where you can see the list of triggers. So at the moment we have 2 different triggers and 3 different actions. When record is created, when record is updated with the condition. So for today's demo, I'm gonna take you all through this when record is updated with the condition. So let's quickly go to this table number 3, work items table, and see here it's going to ask me for which table are you trying to create this relationship. So of course, I'm here, I'm going to select work items table, and I need to select the condition. So work item, I can say status. Status is any of completed. When status, this one, when status is any of completed, I want an email to be sent. To whom? To Olivia, which is my account, olivia.stevens@zilker.com. Okay, I want an email to be sent to Olivia. Subject line, I can just task is completed. This is a placeholder. You can click on the placeholder to include the field values. Sorry, to include the record values. I have the work items. I can select the work items and maybe task owner and status completed. I can even upload documents in here or add from the fields, project documents if the project has any document, and click on activate. That's it. Now, if I change at the moment, let's see the proof of concept is waiting. Let's say it is waiting. Now I'm changing it to completed now. Now I'll get an email. And it'll take some time. So this is how the email would look like. Hi, Olivia. Then the work item and the project ID, it's completed. So proof of concept, this particular project and the status completed. So this is how the email would look like. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay, this is how it works. We are also working on schedulers. In fact, like we want the workflow to trigger to, if you want the workflow to trigger at a given time or at a given frequency, like you want to be intimated right before the due date of the work item, or you want to send a reminder to the respective task owner. So we are working on the scheduler level automation as well. So this is how your Zoho Tables interface would look like. So I guess I've covered most of the features today. And apart from that, you also have log list of, you can track every single changes that's been made in the base and in all your views. And you can also click on manage fields, which will help you to, it'll help you to organize your fields better. If you don't want certain fields to be displayed, you can just disable some of the fields in here, and you can increase the record size as well. So you can basically apply sort and filter. So you can make all sort of configurations, and you can try out the product and see how it's going to support your unique work requirement for your team. I guess I've covered all the features, and you can post all your questions in case if you feel that we have to address any of your questions. And another feature that I missed out to mention is that we have a gallery view as well, which works well if you are working with creatives or images. This is how your gallery view will look like, and you also have builder, which can be customized as per our preference, just like the Kanban view. Right. Now let's get back to the presentation. And how does this product fit into our Zoho ecosystem? It's going to be a part of email and collaboration category within Zoho ecosystem. And if you're wondering how to get started with Zoho Tables, if you are a Zoho Sheet user, you can immediately get started with tables for the purpose of collaborative work management. And when you feel that your workflow gets more complex and it demands certain amount of coding to be written, that's when it's highly recommended to switch towards Zoho Creator. Well, it's just going to be a quick recap of what we have gone through. Like, our product is a perfect combination of spreadsheet and database that fits into any work environment. It's an all-in-one tool. Like I mentioned, it's personalized yet cohesive, and it has the power of RDBMS. It's even more much better than RDBMS functionality. and you can never miss out a thing. And the best part is that like it does not demand any amount of coding or technical expertise to get started with the product, and you can have complete control over your function, and it levels up as you move forward, and you can keep all your stakeholders updated at all times. And in case if you would like to talk to us, you can reach out to us at support@zohotables.com. We would be happy to address all your questions. Great, and thank you all very much. Really appreciate your time for joining this webinar. And please do let us know if you would like to know more information about tables. We'll be happy to get onto a call. Please take care until we meet you all in the next webinar. Thank you. Goodbye.